Okay, let's jump right into this explainer, because today we're exploring a 1,000-year-old masterpiece that honestly holds the secret to transforming not just our society, but your very own mind. I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow, and literally nothing around you has changed. The government, the roads, the endless arguments on the internet, they are all exactly the same. Yet somehow you feel this deep, unshakable sense of peace. How is that even possible?
Well, you can find that total peace by asking one profound question, a question that was actually asked centuries before modern psychology even existed. And it's simply this: what if the real problem isn't the city itself, but the people living inside it?
Section 1. The Modern Happiness Paradox. So, look at where we are today. We live in a reality where we have absolute peak technology, but at the same time we're struggling with peak anxiety. We have unlimited information and constant communication right at our fingertips, but we're seemingly trading all of that for rising loneliness, depression, and a sheer lack of wisdom. We've basically handed society the keys to the world's fastest sports car, but, well, nobody actually taught us how to drive it, which really just proves that our biggest problem isn't speed, it's direction.
Think about what happens when a society is built entirely on individual talent, with zero cooperation. It's kind of like a football team where every single star player refuses to pass the ball. I mean, everyone just wants to score all by themselves. Obviously, they wouldn't win a single game. Talent without cooperation is just pure chaos, and it inevitably creates a losing team, no matter how good the individual players are.
Which brings us to Section 2. Enter Al-Farabi, the second teacher.
Let's step way back in time to the Islamic Golden Age in 10th century Baghdad. This is long before the internet or modern universities even existed. Scholars back then were enthusiastically translating knowledge from every civilization they could possibly get their hands on. And right in the middle of this was a remarkable thinker named Abu Nasr al-Farabi. He was actually given the title the second teacher, which is huge because it places his intellect directly next to Aristotle, who is known as the first teacher. Al-Farabi studied everything from math to music. But instead of just repeating what Aristotle said, he wanted to answer a massive question. How can human beings move past just surviving to genuinely flourishing together?
Section 3. The Virtuous City Metaphor.
Now, when Al-Farabi wrote his masterpiece, he wasn't talking about pouring concrete or building giant physical castles. His virtuous city was a conceptual society. It's a society where individuals function in perfect harmony, cooperating toward the common goal of true happiness, rather than just constantly competing for wealth or fame or domination. He argued that if money and luxury and having a ton of followers actually created happiness, well, successful people wouldn't be so miserable.
He wanted to fix this through cooperative roles. Think of it literally like a human body. Your heart doesn't compete with your lungs, right? They work together. Al-Farabi envisioned a society where every single person contributes exactly according to their abilities. Teachers educate, doctors heal, farmers grow food, scientists discover truth, artists inspire beauty, and parents raise the future generations. It creates life through harmony instead of endless, exhausting competition.
Section 4. True Leadership and Truth. So who actually leads this harmonious body? Today, we tend to really admire loud confidence. But Al-Farabi believed rulers need to be philosophers who seek truth before their own ego. Because, let's face it, wisdom makes progress, while confidence usually just makes noise. For a leader, you absolutely need wisdom, character, and a desire to serve. And you'll notice what's totally missing from his list: popularity, money, and power. To put that into perspective, imagine getting on a commercial flight and holding a vote for the funniest passenger to fly the airplane, instead of, picking the pilot who actually knows how to fly it. It's a hilarious, but honestly terrifying comparison, and it perfectly captures why leadership is a profound responsibility, not an entertainment show or a popularity contest.
He also brought up this incredibly revolutionary idea that reason and religion are not enemies. Actually, scratch that. It's more like they are simply different languages pointing to the exact same shared truth. It's like a physics professor explaining gravity using super complex equations versus a parent explaining gravity to their kid just by dropping an apple. One uses pure logic, the other uses stories and symbolism, but they both point to the exact same thing. This idea was huge, and it deeply influenced later heavyweights like Avicenna, Maimonides, and Thomas Aquinas.
Section 5. The Science of Flourishing.
Now, here is where it gets really mind-blowing. Thousands of years later, modern science is basically just catching up to this ancient philosophy. Positive psychology and neuroscience today completely confirm what he knew back in the 10th century. Well-being comes from meaning and connection, and building virtuous daily habits, whether it's practicing compassion or giving into anger, literally wires our neural pathways, making those reactions so much easier over time thanks to neuroplasticity. Al-Farabi's Virtuous City is literally the exact ancient equivalent of what modern science calls a healthy, well-regulated brain.
So, the grand takeaway here? Every thought you have is a citizen. Every habit you form is a law. And every decision you make elects your future self. The city you are building is actually your own mind.
Section 6. The 5-Pillar Framework. So how do we actually apply this right now, today? It comes down to 5 pillars. First, you've got to seek truth before opinion. Don't outsource your thinking. Second, build your character daily through honesty, patience, and humility. Third, find a purpose beyond just yourself by asking what you can actually contribute. Fourth, choose cooperation, because success multiplies when we grow together. And finally, mindfully rebuild your habits so you can become a true citizen of your own virtuous city. Section 7. The Ultimate Realization.
You know, Al-Farabi didn't build massive empires. He didn't leave behind conquering armies. He built ideas. And those ideas completely outlived the kingdoms around him. He reminds us that a society only improves when the individuals inside it become wiser. This brilliant blueprint for society was probably never meant to exist on a physical map. It was always meant to be constructed inside each and every one of us. The greatest revolution isn't political at all. It's profoundly personal.
So, I want to leave you with this one question to think deeply about today. If your mind were a physical city, would you actually enjoy living there? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments, and keep building your own virtuous city, one thoughtful choice at a time.